Welcome to the History of Simple Things, where we delve into the fascinating history behind the little things that shape our world. Have you ever blown a bubble, watched it expand with a sense of accomplishment, only for it to pop and stick all over your face? Bubblegum is a simple yet nostalgic pleasure, loved by people across the globe. But have you ever wondered where this chewy treat came from? Who thought it would be fun to create something so stretchable, flavorful, and downright sticky? Today, we're diving into the history of bubblegum, exploring its origins, and uncovering the story of how it came to be the beloved candy it is today. Before bubblegum existed, humans had already developed a love for chewing on different substances. In fact, the act of chewing gum dates back thousands of years. Ancient cultures around the world had their versions of gum-like substances. The Mayans chewed on sap from the sapodilla tree, while Native Americans enjoyed chewing tree resin. Even the ancient Greeks were known to chew on mastiche, a substance derived from the mastic tree. Chewing gum in the modern sense began to take off in the 19th century when entrepreneurs in the United States started experimenting with different formulas. John B. Curtis is credited with producing the first commercial chewing gum in the 1840s, made from spruce tree resin. It was sticky, bitter, and not exactly what we think of as gum today, but it was a start. By the late 1800s, a man named Thomas Adams made a significant breakthrough in gum history. He used chicle, a natural latex derived from the sapodilla tree, to create a smoother and more elastic chewing experience. This version of gum was a big hit and became the foundation for the chewing gums we know today. But while chewing gum became more popular, it still wasn't bubble gum, not yet. Fast forward to the 1920s, where the invention of bubblegum finally came into play. Enter the Fleer Corporation, a Philadelphia-based candy company. The company had been experimenting with gum formulas for years, trying to create something that could do something special, blow bubbles. At this time, many different types of gum were available, but none had the stretchiness needed for blowing big, durable bubbles. Every attempt to make bubblegum had ended in failure. Either the gum would be too sticky, making it impossible to clean up, or it would lack the elasticity to blow a good bubble. But the team at Fleer was determined, especially one young man who worked as an accountant at the company, Walter Diemer. Walter Diemer wasn't a chemist, and he wasn't originally hired to create bubblegum. He was a numbers guy. However, Diemer found himself fascinated by the work being done in Fleer's gum lab. In his free time, he started tinkering with different gum recipes, experimenting with new ingredients and combinations. In 1928, after months of trial and error, Diemer stumbled upon a formula that was different. This new gum was more elastic than anything they had tried before. It was less sticky, making it easier to clean up, and most importantly, it could blow big bubbles. Diemer had created the world's first successful bubble gum. The invention was a total accident, but one that would forever change the candy world. After testing the gum with his co-workers, Diemer realized he was onto something. People loved it. Fleer decided to market the new gum under the name Dubble. The gum was a hit from the very start, and its packaging, complete with a pink color, helped it stand out. The company added a comic strip featuring twin brothers Dub and Bub on the wrapper, which only made it more popular with children. Dubble Bubble became a cultural sensation, and within a short time it was being sold across the country. Bubblegum had arrived. Let's talk about that famous pink color for a moment. Why is bubblegum pink? The answer is simple. It was all Diemer had at the time. When he created the original batch of bubblegum, the only food coloring available in the lab was pink, so that's what he used. And while today's bubblegum comes in a variety of colors, the original pink shade remains the most iconic. That small detail added to the charm of Dubble Bubble and helped solidify its place in candy history. In a way, pink bubblegum was almost as much of an accident as the gum itself. Dubble Bubble remained the top bubblegum brand for decades, but the popularity of bubblegum soon spread beyond Fleer. Competitors started to develop their own formulas, and new brands entered the market. During World War II, soldiers were often given chewing gum as part of their rations, which helped spread the popularity of gum around the world. By the 1950s, bubblegum was a global phenomenon. One of the most famous bubblegum brands to emerge in the mid-20th century was Bazooka. Introduced by the Topps Company in 1947, Bazooka gum became known for its tough, chewy texture and its unique packaging, which featured Bazooka Joe, a comic character who became a mascot for the brand. Of course, one of the most fun aspects of bubblegum is blowing bubbles. There's a certain art to it that takes practice. Anyone who has ever tried knows that not all bubbles are created equal. The key is to find the right balance between chewing the gum enough to soften it, but not so much that it loses its elasticity. Once you get the hang of it, blowing bubbles becomes an enjoyable challenge. In fact, bubble blowing competitions have been held around the world. The record for the largest bubble ever blown was set by Chad Fell in 2004, who blew a bubble measuring 50.8 centimeters, 20 inches in diameter, without using his hands. The invention of bubblegum may have started as an accident, but it turned into something truly iconic. From its humble beginnings in the Fleer Corporation lab to the global candy aisles, bubblegum has become a symbol of fun, creativity, and of course, childhood memories. And while we may take it for granted today, the next time you chew on a piece of bubblegum and blow a bubble, remember the quirky, colorful history behind that little piece of sweetness. Thanks to Walter Diemer and his accidental discovery, the world has been blowing bubbles for nearly a century, and it doesn't look like the fun will stop anytime soon. So grab a piece of gum, chew, stretch, and see how big of a bubble you can blow. It's all part of the bubblegum experience. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.